How close is your English level to the very best? Are you intermediate, advanced, or proficient? Well, if you can answer the 20 questions in this test correctly, then your English level is as high as possible. I'm going to test your knowledge of 20 words. Questions 1 to 5 are advanced. 6 to 15, more advanced still, and questions 16 to 20 are the most advanced types of words that we use in everyday speech in English. Let's start with number 1. Fugitive. Fugitive. Does this mean someone angry, someone running away, or someone lost? Fugitive means someone running away. A fugitive is a person who has escaped capture and others want to recapture. Here's an example of how you might use it. The police were chasing a fugitive who had escaped from prison earlier in the day. Here's number 2. Vicinity. Vicinity. Does this mean nearby, winner, or study? Vicinity means nearby. If you are in the vicinity, then you're in the area immediately around somewhere else. For example, there are a number of shops and cafes in the vicinity of the apartment block. That means where the apartment block is, there are a number of shops and cafes nearby. Number 3, glimpse. Glimpse. Does this mean fit through a gap, see quickly, or cut? Glimpse means see quickly. If you glimpse something, it means you see something for a very short amount of time. They glimpsed the birds flying across the sky before they disappeared into the trees. That means the birds flew quickly before they went into the trees, so we only saw them for a short amount of time. Number 4 is baffle. Baffle. What does baffle mean? Does it mean argue, speak a lot, or confuse? Baffle means confuse. This means make something impossible to explain or confusing. For example, the child passed the exam at 6 years old. Her ability baffled her teachers. When you baffle someone, you confuse them. You could also use it in the passive. I am baffled by someone else. That means someone else did something that baffled me. And number 5, grassroots. Grassroots. Does this mean hair, ordinary, or ground? Grassroots means ordinary. Grassroots people are groups of people at the lowest level. For example, they lost the election because their policies did not appeal to the grassroots. In other words, their policies did not appeal to the ordinary voters. Okay, let's make this even more advanced. We're now going to look at words which are C2+. So if you need IELTS 9, then these words are good to know and use. The first word is camaraderie. Camaraderie. Does this mean excitement, sausages, or friendliness? Camaraderie means friendliness. This is when a friendly state between people or groups has existed for some time. Here's an example of how we might use it. There is excellent camaraderie between the actors and actresses when they are rehearsing the play. 7 is unscrupulous. Unscrupulous. What does this mean? Does it mean dishonest, not clean, or cannot be divided. This means dishonest. Here's a full definition. People lacking in morals, meaning they are dishonest and willing to break rules without caring. That's an unscrupulous person. You could use it in an example like this. I was tricked by some unscrupulous traders and lost a lot of money as a result. 8 is unorthodox. Unorthodox. What does this mean? Does it mean not religious, not straight, or not normal? Unorthodox means not normal, not done in the ordinary or expected way. Have you ever come across an example like this one? Don't go to the alternative doctors. They use unorthodox medicines which have not been tested and may not be safe. So these medicines are not normal. They've not come through the normal way. 9 is ghastly. Ghastly. Does this mean awful, scary, or tall? Ghastly means awful. Really, really bad, terrible, or awful. Any of these words describe ghastly. I ran into a door and I ended up with a ghastly cut on my head. The blood was terrible. The cut was really, really bad. It looked terrible. It looked awful. 10 is loom. Loom. Does loom mean appear in a peaceful way, appear in a worrying way, or appear in a strange way? Loom means appear in a worrying way. This is when something becomes apparent in a worrying way, either because there's an object moving towards you or an object nearby, or there's a situation that's worrying you that becomes apparent. Here's an example of either an object or a situation. First, the object. The dark clouds were looming over our heads. So the dark clouds appeared and they caused us to worry, probably because we thought it was going to rain. The second example, the deadline for submission looms over the students. Here they don't see it, but the deadline is now becoming apparent. It's becoming nearer in time. So the students are worrying about it. So, how are you doing so far? If you want to go deeper with English, then you can do that through one of my courses. There are links in the description to this video. Click on them for a special discount. Okay, on to number 11. Precursor. Precursor. Does this mean leading to something else, preventing something else, or showing something else? A precursor is something leading to something else. This comes before something else and has a connection to what comes next. The excellent starter was a precursor for the wonderful main meal. The starter indicated that the main meal was also going to be good. Here's 12. Kin. Kin. Does kin mean a wild animal, a person related to you, or a large sum of money? Kin is a person related to you. Normally, kin is for family members who have a blood connection to you. Make sure you tell us of your next of kin in case there is an accident. Next of kin is the closest relation to you. 13 is confidant. Confidant. Does this mean someone you share secrets with, belief in your ability, or a small space? A confidant is someone you share secrets with. It's very similar in sound and spelling to confident. If you're confident, then you have belief in your ability, but this has an E, not an A, in the final syllable. And it's not confined either. Confined is small space. If you have a confidant, this is a person whom you trust to tell secrets, usually to do with your own life. Mary is an excellent confidant. I know she will give good advice and not tell anyone what I say. 14 is bombard. Bombard. Does this mean explode, explore, or send large amounts? Bombard means send large amounts. When you bombard someone, a lot of unwelcome things are sent towards you at a fast speed. For example, I have been bombarded by sales calls recently. It's making me so angry. Do you ever get lots of telephone calls from the same people trying to sell you something? If you get lots of those calls, they are bombarding you. And 15, lethargy. Lethargy. Does this mean tiredness, illness, or worry? Lethargy means tiredness. Being tired or not having the energy to complete a task. There was a total lethargy in the whole team. They did not try hard enough. So the team appeared tired, or they simply weren't putting the effort into what they needed to do in the way that was expected. There was lethargy in the team. Okay, and now for the final 5 words. And now we're at the very highest level. These are words that some native English speakers may struggle with too. How about you? 16 is smattering. Smattering. Does this mean hitting something, colouring in, or small amounts scattered around? Smattering means small amounts scattered around. Generally, these are small amounts scattered randomly in an area with no clear pattern. For example, a smattering of snow fell on the mountain. You could see tiny flakes of snow on the ground. So the ground was largely clear of snow, but just here and there you could see snowflakes. There was a smattering. 17 is hanker. Hanker. Does this mean deep desire, sneeze, or follow? Hanker means deep desire. If you hanker after something, it means a very strong desire for something, leading to emotional difficulty. It's something emotionally hard inside of you. Like in this example, the father went to another country for work. After a few weeks, he was hankering after his children. And notice hankering here is followed with after. Hanker normally is followed by the prepositions for or after. Tinge. Tinge. Is tinge a funny feeling, slightly coloured, or long hair? Tinge means slightly coloured, and it can be a noun or a verb. And this means when something has colouring that is only just noticeable. The noun works like this. The wall was painted white, but with a tinge of yellow. But it could also be a verb. He tinged it with yellow as he painted. That means a very slight effect of yellow, but it was mainly white. Homogenize. Homogenize. Does this mean make similar, become like another person, or improve the quality of water? Homogenize means make similar. There are two main definitions actually. The first is change something so that it is similar to something else, but we also use homogenize when we mix cream into milk. Here are examples of both. The need to trade globally has homogenized ideas in various parts of the world. The milk was homogenized before sending it to the shops. And finally 20. Stratification. Stratification. Does this mean being separated into different levels, being sent to the atmosphere, or numbers and data? Stratification means being separated into different levels. With stratification, there is something that has different parts, and that can be separated into different groups. Such as in the example here, social stratification is often represented through the types of houses people live in. So social regards to people, and we can divide them sometimes according to how much money they have. And in general, people with more money will have bigger properties. People with less money will have smaller properties. It's a way of stratification of society. So, how did you do? Leave a comment in the comment section below. Let us know.